where the bright lights of the studio are on, and after our discussion with counseling psychologist Dr. Anna Maria Mora. Let's talk now with Dr. Kris Rampersad, who apart from being an award-winning journalist, she's also an educator and an author. Her latest offering is a fictional children's series. It's entitled I, the Sky, and Me and the Sea. It's all part of a series called The Adventures of Money Butterfly and Danny Dragonfly, Book 1. This is what we're talking about here. The adventure book aims to encourage readers to tap into their creative side with the help of music. I should mention as well that Dr. Kris Rampersad and I started on the same day at The Guardian in January of 1987, together with a young man by the name of Albert Charles. I don't know if he's still there at The Guardian, but Doc, good to see you once again.
Yes,
thanks very much for joining us.
We meet again.
So tell us about this new publication.
Well, it's my first official launch into fiction, but I have piles of fiction. You know, we all do writing on the background, and I have piles of fiction, I have piles of film scripts, I have piles of other stuff sitting around, which I'm in the process of now releasing. The book, this is the first in a series of stories of what I'll be calling festival fables, which really try to capture our way of life and the cultures and the multicultural experiences that we grow into, to create a volume, a cadre of educational materials. And when I talk about education, I'm not only talking about 4 schools, because I see education as that total process from parenting, from childhood, all the way into adulthood. So these festival fables, I say, are for my catchment readership are from ages 3 to 103, because I think everyone can come to it with their experience. So is this something that adults will enjoy? I think they would. It has their... I'm trying to integrate the arts into it, so and technology. So bridging tradition and technologies, so we understand our culture, where we come from, and in the process using the new media, using the new technologies, the whole gamut of imagery and video and all of that it offers. So
is the book out already? Where can people get it?
The book itself is on Amazon, both in Kindle version and on paperback, so people can order the paperback or you can get it on Kindle. I am looking for sponsorship to do, and people who can sponsor bits, whether it's for your clients or your workers' children or for schools or for a community, to do the print edition. Aligned to all of that to interactive sessions that we can do some teacher retraining. I've heard the frustration of your previous speaker, for instance, in terms of what are we doing to save the children. My view is that we have to allow the children to save us, because they come in with this, we need to recapture and direct them into that refreshing take that they have on life, and beyond the cynicism that maybe some of us inject into our community, to bring that refreshing outlook and to change the adult. You know, I've worked throughout the system, trying from policy level all the way through education, through the teacher. Have
you given up on that? Is that why you're writing books now?
Not
that
you
realize a waste of time, all that policy thing?
I wouldn't want to say it's a waste of time. I'm trying a new approach, because I do think maybe in a way what we have been doing, we can't reform. It's almost impossible to reform the current processes and the generations, and children have a way of transforming that. And children have a way of changing parents. Children have a way of redirecting the thinking of their parents. We have been playing catch-up in the education system for the longest while without making all the necessary changes. And one of that core change has been to create educational material that is relevant to us. That has been an
while we're
ongoing
having our discussion, Kris, if people are interested, based on what you're saying, or maybe they are aware of your work and so on, in sponsoring different segments and so on, what do they have to do? How do they reach you to get more information on this particular project or anything else that you're working on?
Well, the project is that in a whole. It tackles policy making, it tackles teacher training, and it tackles this recreating revitalizing the creative energies of youth. I have a website. Well, it's more than a website. It's a portal that's going to allow that kind of exchange. www.krisrampersad.com, and it's offering it's a whole gamut of experiences that would include tours, it includes talks, it includes podcasts and webcasts and interviews with key knowledge holders, as well as these interactive experiences with children and the books.
And as we talk about the book, and especially this book, I, This Guy and Me and the Sea, what would differentiate this book from other children's stories, whether it be locally created or from the UK? Because in the dark old days when it was just Dick and Jane and Jack and Jill and all that sort of thing, now it's Boyo and Carla. I think they've moved on from that as well. What, in your mind, from your experience, differentiates this publication from others?
I bring my whole literary background into this, and it does not treat literature as text. I treat literature as a living experience. So in there, there are sing-alongs, there are songs that the children could get involved in. It evokes color, it evokes imagery. It really is a total involvement experience that you can take from the text out into the environment. So what I'm trying to do is kind of retrain our thinking. You see all our children out there like that. I tell my nephews and nieces, your children are going to be born with your fingers like that and your heads like that. This is to take your heads out of the text and get back into appreciation of the environment, getting back into making that linkage between classroom and the classroom outside the classroom. And as I said, there are tours. My nephew presented me this weekend with a reading list that they got for the summer, what they call summer vacation.
You go pay $1, you're going out the door. We always charge people for when they mention summer in a place where we don't have summer. So
well, you're not charging me because I am against it, right? So this is a reading list that he got for his summer vacation, and there was not one local writer on that list, right? So we have, and that has been a constant cry in the education system, because we feed in children an alien culture, and their only aspiration is to now experience those things which are outside of here.
But obviously we don't have the time to broaden. But just on that point, there will some who maintain that it's that alien culture, the Happy Venture readers and the West Indian reader, the Red Book and so on, had us very disciplined and had us very orderly and very well behaved. It's only now that we open up to all the wildness that we turn out the way we turn out.
But it's because what we are feeding them is that wildness. Are you trying to say that because that our culture does not have that discipline and that creativity and that
not the one that's presented to the public view?
Well, certainly. So it's the ones that we are presenting to the public view, and that is what we need to change, or we need to realize how we can streamline that to feed into the system so that we can have the best of both worlds. I have seen. In fact, the story was written for my nephew Sai. She was 3 years old when that story was written. This is 10 years later that I'm now releasing it, because I took him to the library. We one day to join him in the library. He was 3, and they asked him for his utility bill and what have you. He makes a big joke out of that. But the reading material there, which is a gamut of local material and international material, I could not convey in reading to him the concepts of what we are through the writing, and that's why I started writing for him. And these are stories that have been tried and tested. I have done them at storytelling in the park with Rotary Club for disadvantaged children.
And in that sense, could we just have a few minutes left and remind everybody about the website and the contact information as well? But how do you measure the success of that? How is it by children gravitating towards it and saying yes, Dr. Kris or Tanti Kris or whatever they call you, whether I enjoy the book or whatever? How do you measure as an academic? How do you measure the success? How are you able to gauge whether a publication or a list of books and so on would have achieved what you wanted to achieve?
Yeah, well, I would change your preface as an academic, because I don't view myself as an academic. I judge success if you get one, and you hear the desperation and the toil, we need to save the children. If you get 1 or 2 or 3 who grasp onto this, you have made a difference. I presented this to kindergarten over the vacation period, and they were all very glued. And this was before I had added the images and all the movement and the motion and what have you into it. they would grab the songs. In fact, I would like sponsorship for the songs so that we can get it in the nursery rhyme system. You know, we're doing foreign nursery rhymes. So they are gravitating, and I see the responses. The teachers have been desperately, oh, this is the kind of stuff we need. They show me the books that they're using, and it's the same problem they're having. It's no different. I'm just articulating what the problem that is in the system and trying to address it.
So before we conclude, Kris, just give us the website and any other contact information that you'd like to give, both in relation to your different projects and how people could get involved if they want to support it.
It's very easy, KrisRampersad.com, and my social media is just Kris Rampersad on any of the platforms. You can find me there. So it would be useful if we can get some of these into not just the school system, but I think the Parent Teachers Association, the community centers, things like that. And as I said, it's aligned to interactive activities as well.
Good to see you once again.
Same.
Thanks very much for joining us.